Technology without talent is
Expensive.
Yeah,
Wasted.
definitely. Well, how about talent without technology?
Yeah, also expensive. It's an optimization problem, right? Like, I need technology to empower my thought workers, but then I need thought workers to undertake the actual insights.
Right. I use this analogy all the time. Like, you got to have the tools. The tool is only as good as the process you surround it with.
Yeah.
I mean, if the talent is the tool, but they don't have the technology to support the tools, then like it's not going to work. It's just like the whole roofing a house scenario, you know? Like, if I'm using a hammer and a nail, I might be good, but it's going to take me 3 days to do it. You give me a nail gun, I'm done in half a day.
On the flip side, if you have a giant toolbox sitting there and nobody there to use any of the tools, no roof.
Right. Talent and technology, in order for an organization to be successful and actually succeed in the future, you got to have both, because one doesn't work well without the other. I mean, you're going to have a successful business, but if you're really wanting to grow and get to that next level, you got to invest in your tech, and then you got to invest in your people so that they know how to use that technology to help you grow to where you want to be.
That's the important thing, is realizing that I'm going to need to make continuous investments in both. I have a team. I'm going to want to continuously teach them how to learn new tools. I'm going to have to invest in teaching them those tools, especially in the days of software as a service. I just see so many people like, oh, well, I just need to buy this subscription service and it will fix this, entire class of problems. And it's like, well, no, there's going to be a human being entering data or managing the system or doing whatever it is. And if we haven't gotten their buy-in, or if we don't know if that's the right tool, like there's no silver bullet to any business problem. Otherwise, it'd be raining money.
Yeah. And also, I think it goes back to your hiring processes for talent as well. You need to actively hire folk who are obviously very skilled at what they do, they understand the subject and then the right seat and all the rest of it. But also they want to embrace technology to take them to the next level, to kind of get rid of those, mundane, repetitive tasks and, inject the ability for them to actually be those thought leaders within the organization.
Right people, right seats, that's the key thing there.
I think really the difference is that the technology and the people actually serve different roles. And I think there's this idea, especially with a lot of the automation that's happening lately, that, I'm just gonna make some system do this. And it's like, well, no, even the business logic, the instruction for that has to happen for a human. So maybe at some point in the near future, AI will get to a place where it's thinking and making better business decisions and all of that stuff. But where it's at right now, it's not. Anytime we're doing an actual opinion or a decision, it should usually be made by a human, informed by technology. So both the input and the output from the technology need to be handled by a human.
And you have to have those humans that have the talent to basically perform those types of tasks, right?
It's essentially this cycle. Yeah.
Continuously learning, because there's going to be more tools that are coming out every day. Microsoft obviously came out with a great stack, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate. What's next? I mean, constant evolution of technology, especially as we're getting more and more in depth with AI and machine learning and those types of things. It just means that the talent out there needs to, be up to par with the technology in order to kind of keep getting that next level.
And learning is fast,
right.
Changing is fast.
Yes. Technology changes fast anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So do enterprises have a tendency to invest more in technology or in talent in your guys' experience?
I think it depends on certain departments. Certain departments have predilections in a particular way or the other. So we were talking about kind of finance and so on. That's a kind of people-heavy place. And then the technology is secondary to it. So other departments is they flip the script on that. But also where the market is for that particular organization as well. In a market like at the moment, there's kind of retrenchments and things like that. So people are then now looking at, okay, what can we do better with technology today? So it kind of depends,
So based upon what you're saying here, how is that investment shifting in 2023? Because we all know that the economy is kind of a little iffy at the moment.
Yeah, so I think we got through some interesting things. So we saw this massive rise in salaries and wages and packages and all the rest of it because of the post-COVID effects. That kind of is somewhat shifting now. There's a lot of retrenchments and layoffs and things like that. So I think management and folks who are trying to drive insights within the organization are now kind of looking at it in terms of what can we do with more with less, and that's really the guise of technology. How can we leverage all of these pieces of technology that we've got, or what can we bring in to do a better job, or what can we improve upon? So I really think there's going to be actually more of a focus on the technology side, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a mirror to the business cycle in the trade-off between technology and humans. And I think it's just kind of like, hard times make good business decisions, make easy times make bad business decisions. We have talked a bit about the continual investments that need to be made in both humans and tech. Once those investments have been made, how can leaders of an organization get the best return on that investment?
Ensure that that tool is being utilized throughout the organization. So one of the biggest things that we always talk about in our implementations is make sure this tool is adopted. So how can we make sure, one, it's being adopted, there's governance in place, because if you don't have proper governance, meaning like if there's not proper governance around the data that's being used, we're not all reporting off the same sheet of music type stuff, people are gonna not trust what you're looking at in the technology, and they're just not going to adopt it, and it's just going to go by the wayside. Then all that time and money and investment that you put into that tool, it's gone, because you got to start over again.
Yeah, I know it probably sounds a little bit trite, right? Leaders of a consultancy are talking about consultants being a good idea, but this really is one of the areas where seasoned professionals are just so worth the money. Because you really have to strike this perfect balance of making sure that enough people are using and excited about this that you get adoption, without falling off the other side of the tracks where you just have the Wild West and people are spinning up everything and there's 15 different revenue numbers for a quarter. What you need is to have this really measured balance. And I think that when you actually break down and look at what makes that balance happen, it's a pretty boilerplate list of things that can just be fine-tuned for a given organization. And people who have done this dozens and dozens of times can come in with a playbook and give you really solid advice for how to make sure you're getting maximum return on that investment.
That's exactly how Collectiv helps. I mean, you have this team of people, you just rolled out this massive data warehouse plus reporting project, you need to maintain it. Maybe you need additional ports, maybe you just need support. That's where Collectiv comes into play. We are there because we have the expertise, we have the talent that knows what to do and what not to do. And that's what we excel in. That's how we ensure that that deployment of that technology is maintained with the talent that those organizations have in-house.
Yeah, it's really about experience and expertise at any point in your journey.
Right.
Some organizations are going to be, all the way over there, very advanced and very mature. Other organizations are going to be right at the beginning. Some people are going to be in the middle. We can mold and meld and be very agile in terms of whatever you need today, but also wherever you need to grow to and beyond as well.
Yeah, it's the blend of experience. If it's something that's been seen before, if it's something where you're looking for best practice, we've done that, we've implemented it. If it's something that this is a brand new bleeding edge type problem, we also have the people who are smart enough and experienced enough to figure it out.